Okay, this is the true foot of the horse. This is what grows from it and must form fit to it. We're just going to fit this foot back into this capsule seat just like a shoe. There we go. Okay, except it's all connected when it's growing from it. Now, let's take a look. This is the hoof capsule. Remember, this is not your horse's foot. They call it the hoof, but it is technically and correctly a hoof capsule. It is not the foot of your horse. Okay, this. Come on, you just come out of there. Is the foot of your horse. This is your horse's foot. And what you can see grows from this. So, this is the first thing you're going to see when you remove the hoof capsule. This is the horse's foot. It is covered with skin. This skin, which is called dermis, grows the different parts of the hoof capsule. Now, I keep reiterating this. I keep repeating, because for hundreds, if not thousands of years, experts have seen this as the foot of your horse with parts thrown in it. See? And so they think they can just kind of arrange those parts any old way up to a degree. And mostly what they see is a hoof capsule with some parts and a coffin bone. That's about it. On an x-ray, that's just what you see. It's a hoof capsule with the coffin bone in it. But the coffin bone, as you will see, only takes up a certain portion of that. See there? Just a minute. The rest of your foot is cartilage and fat and can be manipulated and moved. Now, the rest of this hoof capsule, all this back here, is meant to form fit the shape of this foot here. Okay? We get to know the foot. We get to know how the cartilage is supposed to be, its proper placement, everything that is placed within this foot. We get to know the big part here, the external part, and then we get to know the details of the internal anatomy. But this hoof capsule right here, this part back here, is meant to support and stabilize the part that doesn't have bone in it. So, now this is not a perfect foot, for the reason that this was a mare that had the heels severely trimmed out. Trimming out the heels is much like when the heels grow too long and then collapse. What happens is it crushes the heel. Okay, so I'm going to show you something here. Here, let's just set this back here for now. I'm going to show you something. Hopefully my pen will work. Now, what I want you to look at here first, bring us back up here. I want you to look at the shape of the heel. Here's your coronary band. It goes straight back here. Okay, for the wall and where the wall grows, it ends right here. From here back into here is the heel buttress, which is a thick triangular shaped piece of hoof wall that grows from here, connects to the heel down, and then grows beyond the end of the heel here to connect with the sole and give you up to 3/4 of an inch of sole to an inch of sole in the heel, under this heel. Now, when the heels grow long and collapse forward, or when they're trimmed out and this all is pulled down and under, it distorts the back of this coronary band, and since these heels are cartilage, it crushes the heels. Oops, there we go. Let's get this here. Just a second. Oh, got stuff blown away. Let's put this like this. Okay, that kind of helps there. Now, you see the way this kind of curves down a little bit? It's really not supposed to do this. And you see the angle of this heel, how forward it is. That was not how the heel was originally. Let's look at the other side too. Other side's a little better. See, the coronary band doesn't bend under quite as much. Okay, now, this is what I want to show you. Now, before I drew it on a piece of plastic on a box of screws I was using. Okay, so this is what I want to show you here. Okay, the coronary band comes down like this. Right here, this little nubbin here. Okay, that is where your heel buttress wall grows from. Okay, now the heel comes in here. Well, see the angle there? The heel is very defined right here. See that? Here, we'll go ahead and just draw a little more. That is your inner foot. This here would be your coronary band. Okay, now the heel will be the same angle as the dorsal wall, right here and right here. Now what happens is, when the heels are trimmed out, or when the heels get long and all the horn tubule of the capsule collapses forward, it crushes these heels, and instead of being nice and defined like that, they wind up being more like this. That's not very good, but see there? Like that. And so that's kind of what is going on with this specific foot I have. But Pete Ramey, who has 2 wild horse hoof dissections, has 2 dissections. If you search out and look for the heel buttress on those 2 dissections, you will find that those horses never had crushed heels, heels never grew long and collapsed forward, and the heels were never trimmed out, and so they're more defined like this. So I want you to understand that up here is your bulb, okay? Your bulbs. There's a reason they're called bulbs. Okay, would you take the Christmas tree bulbs off your tree? We're talking about those kind of glass bulbs, the big ones. You know how breakable they are? Okay, this is why these are called bulbs, because that's what they are shaped like. See? They're round, like so, in the back. Okay, those are not supposed to be on the ground. The hairline is not supposed to go from here at the front of the dorsal wall at the hairline to the ground back here. Okay, what happens when that happens is the heels get crushed like this because they're cartilage. Okay, so this bulb is supposed to be up off the ground. I'm not a very good artist. Something like this. Okay, actually that's pretty good. Now if we were to draw a hoof capsule on it, just a second here. Now if we were to draw a hoof capsule on it, it'd be like this. There we go. Okay, that is more correct than if you saw, and see your hairline would be here. Okay, that is more correct anatomically for the internal foot, to support the internal foot and keep these bulbs up off of the ground, sensitive bulbs. We're going to look at those in a minute. Then if you saw a hairline that went down like this, okay, what happens if I take this heel out up to here and I drop this hairline? I drop this hairline that's like this down like that. I lower the sensitive bulbs to the ground and I crush the cartilage in the heel. Now, that can be done two ways, as I said, which I will elaborate on later. It can be done by trimming the heels out, or if the heels grow too long and the foot is ignored and the toe and everything like that, it can grow too long and it can collapse forward. That's going to crush the heels as well. So those are the two ways. Okay, so this is why we have to know the true foot of the horse, which is the internal foot. And, you know, once you get just a general idea of what that internal foot is like, and a little common sense about how this hoof capsule should fit on it to support it and stabilize it, then you're also going to start learning the true mechanism of how that foot works. Okay, but for now, we're just looking kind of at a simple foot like your foot. How would you design a shoe to fit on your foot?